today in this podcast, we're going to be talking about our first times doing certain things and all of that stuff. So, let's not waste any time. I am Cameron.
I am Lee.
And this is Cam and Saul Morning Talks podcast. And on this channel, we deliver you guys with some interesting podcasts, definitely, that hopefully you don't see from other podcasters. And today is definitely one. We're going to be giving you guys our first experiences of doing certain things like painting, driving a car, going on a roller coaster. Of course, most of that stuff only I've done. But we'll try finding some stuff that she's maybe done. But before we get started, make sure to go hit that subscribe button and the notification bell to where you don't miss any of our podcasts and to where you guys get an alert every time that we do post a podcast. We have decided, if you guys haven't saw, that we are going to divide, or we're going to sort out our stuff in between seasons and stuff. So we don't know when season 2 is going to start, but as of right now, season 1 is all we're focused on. And another new thing that we are starting, guys, is our app. I'm yet to get a link for you guys, but hopefully I can get a link for you guys to pre-save our podcast app. And yeah, so I believe now is the time that we get started. So hold on, let me get a drink quickly because I am kind of thirsty. So hold on. Okay, we cool. Okay. Anyways, okay, first times doing things. This first thing, only I've done, you haven't, of course, but, I'm older. So, I'm going to give you guys a little, heads up of the first time that I ever drove a car. Well, before I even jump into it, anybody whose first time drives a car, it is,
scary.
It's, really scary, almost, you don't know exactly what to expect or anything. I mean, it's you've never been behind the wheel, and it really is scary. That is for sure. I mean, you'll see. I mean, you drive the 4-wheeler all the time. You drove my dirt bike. It really is scary at first. I mean, I drove a car with the parents in it, but it really is scary at first. I mean, first time doing anything is very, very scary, and so. Shoot, you've never drove a car, but...
Experience, what would it feel like?
Well, yeah, so the first time that I ever actually drove a car, I was coming home, I think it was in the summer, I was coming home, and I had just been picked up by my grandma's. I believe I was doing, lawn care or something. Pretty sure I was, mowing and weed eating for her, and I was making money, like I should be. I mean, I'm 14 years old, but, yeah. By the way, the one thing that you've had as the first time, you've actually had a job before. I mean, you worked with my grandma for a little bit, me and my grandma in the summer. You did a little lawn care stuff, so we'll probably get into discussion of how you felt with that, and I'll also discuss, my first time ever having a job. But anyways, that was kind of off topic. But anyways, yeah, I was picked up from my grandma's, and as we were coming back, my stepdad, we were a mile and a half down from, we were about a mile and a half away, and he asked if I wanted to drive, and I said no at first because I thought he was, joking, and I said no, kind of made myself look like a dummy, but he's like, no, come on, let's drive, and eventually I'm like, okay, I guess I'll drive. I was going, 10 down the road. I was freaking out, and I felt like my hands, they were on a swivel the whole time. I was doing this with it. I felt like the whole vehicle was fishtailing, and it really was scary. And I'm sure after that, after you driving the first time, it actually is not that bad. I mean, shoot, I drove that one time, and then I was I want to keep doing it. It's kind of like eating food. You eat a food that you really like, and you're like, wow, I really do like this food. And you keep eating it, and all of that stuff. And it's kind of like drinking water when you're really thirsty or when your mouth's dry. You drink it, and the water feels like it only stays in your system for a little bit, and then you have to get a drink again, and it just feels like that. You drive once, and you want to keep doing it and doing it and doing it. But I was definitely really scared the first time. Like I said, I was shaking and stuff. And it's not necessarily the fact that I'm scared of crashing. It's the first time. It's the fact that I've never been behind the wheel. I've never did stuff like that. But Yeah, so that is one of my first times. Now we're gonna go about your first time. Let's talk about your first time driving a four-wheeler. Well, we'll talk about our first time driving the four-wheeler. First time I ever drove a four-wheeler, it wasn't as scary because, I feel like you have a lot more responsibilities while driving a car, even though both are really, both are really scary. But I feel like with the car, you have a lot more responsibility behind it, and, one mistake can, end most people's lives. But, yeah, so talk about your first time driving a four-wheeler. The first time you ever drove a four-wheeler was with
Dad.
Dad, yeah. So tell us about that.
It was kind of scary. I was going I would say 10, yeah. And
You're probably going slower than that because 10 on a four-wheeler is
pretty fast.
faster. Well, I feel like when you're outside of a vehicle, it's a lot scarier because you're getting to witness everything and all of that. So yeah, I feel like you have a lot more responsibilities. I mean, like when you got too fast, did it feel scary? Or tell us about that. Tell us what you experienced. What emotions did you experience?
I was scared. I was having fun.
Yeah, I mean, that's how most things are. Your first time, you're only scared until it starts.
Yeah.
And, yeah, you're only scared until it starts. We'll get into probably the scariest thing I've ever done in my life. And both of us actually did it. And it was the scariest thing I've ever done in my life. We'll get there in a second. But, yeah, my first time driving the four, I don't even remember. I honestly don't. I think the first time I ever drove a four-wheeler was I don't know, it was a while ago. I don't even know if I remember, but I'm pretty sure I was, I wasn't scared, and I wasn't scared, but I wasn't,
not scared.
Well, I was happy. I was really excited, because I never drove it before, but that's how most things are. You're excited to do it, and then,
you're scared.
as it's starting, you're like, uh-oh, and then as it goes a little bit, then the fear finally starts to go away, and all of that, but... yeah, I'm sure I was shaking in my boots a little bit, because, it's the first time I've ever done anything, and of course, first times are usually pretty scary. So that is both of our first times doing anything. But yeah, I mean, there are a lot of first time things that we have out there. But that is one. We'll both probably share about 3 to 4 of our favorite first times. Most of them we have done together. And yeah, so the second first time thing that I'm going to talk about is actually this is the only I've done it. She hasn't yet because she's only 8. But this one is going to be about my first time ever paying for something. And
I have paid.
Yeah, and how
At
many?
Texas.
Oh yeah, but it was scary. That was scarier than riding the car or something. It's I'm young and I've never interacted with another human, and it is just you get up there, they start talking to you, and you just look up at them what do I say? I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do, and yeah, I was definitely freaking out the first time I ever had to pay. I gave him my stuff, and he told me the price, and I just looked up at him, and it's I don't know, what to do. And he's okay, so I'm gonna need this much money. Then he actually asked me how old I was. I told him and stuff, and he's okay, and then he helped me figure out my money. And it's I know what to do.
It's scary.
But I am freaking out. But after that, that is almost the you feel grown up when you first pay. It's like the driving the car, the four-wheeler. You feel grown up after that first time. And I was definitely pumped after I did it. It's wow, I've just done something that maybe some of my friends haven't even done yet and everything. But yeah, I had before actually paid out concession stands, but most concessions that I go to are people I know. I had never went to an away game probably for sports and stuff because I was kind of that person's now I'm in band, so I go to some stuff, or I go to more stuff than I used to. But like, I never went to an away game, like when I was little. It's because like I wasn't that person when I was little, or to go to away stuff like that. But yeah, so do you remember your first time paying or not?
Yeah.
You tell them about it.
It was pretty scary because
Where are we at?
we were at Texas.
No, like where are we at in Texas?
Um,
Did you pay at that?
it was like describe it. It was just like there was a zoo, and then inside of it there was like a huge place like with a whole bunch of stores that you can get stuff from.
Oh, that place.
So
I'm wondering almost if you paid at that ice cream place, like before we even got there, when you jumped off the back of the car and you scratched yourself all up. You
no,
know
that was the parents.
Oh, that was the parents. Okay, but yeah, I mean,
I did that. So I bought something. I don't remember what I bought, but then yeah, they told me the price, and I just stood at them like, how am I?
yeah,
Like
it's like
embarrassed to ask them to help me, and not knowing how much money that was and everything.
mhm.
Because and then I gave him something, I'm pretty sure, and then I like stopped and looked at him, and he's like, and he's like, do you
Yeah.
need help? And I'm like,
I don't
yeah.
necessarily know if it's like the being scared part. I'm pretty sure it's just
not
like-
knowing what it is.
no, not necessarily that. It's like you don't know like your interacting skills. Like I feel like most kids learn to pay and stuff. That's why you learn numbers at an early age, so you can know how to pay and stuff. But I feel like most people only scary because they like aren't used to interacting with strangers and stuff. I mean, most people aren't strangers when you live in a small town like us. But I mean, it's definitely scary at first because it's like a stranger most of the time. And you're like, I don't know what to do. And I think it'll be scary in her case because we were in Texas. Like, I think
You would know
there
no
was
one there.
one person that we knew when we went to Texas, and it was our mom's friend that we stayed at for a couple of days.
Michelle.
Yeah, her name was Michelle. We stayed at her house for a couple of days. I don't
We
know.
went to this very fancy dinner.
Yeah.
I was stuck.
Oh, yeah. We went to a jousting place. It was like a jousting place. And we went, and is that what you're talking about? Or no.
There was two places we went.
Yeah, so
but
we'll explain both.
We didn't go on jousting.
Jousting
we
was
went as a
people on
family.
horses. Jousting was people on horses. They went and stabbed people out. Of course, it was probably planned out because I don't think they're actually going to go with swords and stuff.
And they're trained, so they
Yes.
won't just be like stabbing each other.
And I don't think they're real swords either. But the other place that we went,
Oh, just a second. And also,
our team won, by the way.
yeah, and I also got the queen of
Yeah, out of
jousting.
everybody, and so you got a king and a queen for your color. I'd say there were about 5,000 people there, and in our color, she got queen. That was insane. She might have a banner, but yeah, it's up there.
That's just something that everybody got.
But there's a banner thing that they get. And, yeah, but she got that. And then we went to this place that it was expensive, I'm sure. So these people would literally come, like, with platters of food. And they
And
would literally,
with sticks.
yeah, like, they weren't
Of
kebabs. They
meat.
were not. They would come with, like, steak, like, this long with a stick through it. And they will literally just pull it off and they'll start cutting it off. And they'll say, okay, tell me when to stop. It's like Olive Garden with a lot of garden. That makes any sense. Like, it was a lot, like,
'Cause
there
Olive
is no
Garden-
way you can be hungry after leaving that place.
No,
It's like, there ain't no way. The dessert was insane.
it was
The
good.
food was insane. And, like, 95% of it was meat, too. They came with
Yeah.
steak, chicken, pork chop. It was all meat, which was pretty insane. But, yeah. And, I mean, I'm sure that was definitely expensive. So, okay. That was our, what, second? Yeah,
Yeah.
because we had the driving, and then we had this. Okay, so now we're going to get to the fun part.
I want to say it. I want to say it first. I wanna go
Well,
first.
hold on. I'll start it, and then you can explain. So, all of these, by the way, mostly are in Texas. So, this one we went to Texas, and we went to an amusement park. It was, Six Flags over Texas or something?
Yeah, Six Flags.
It was Six Flags.
There's a lot of big rides.
Yeah, and we were kind of being looked at dumb because the first ride that we went on, do you guys know the little teacup things that you have to like push and then you spin and then you get off and you don't know where you are? That pretty much.
Was our first ride.
That was our first ride, and then we went on like small roller coasters that I'm surprised I was able to go on. It was like those little caterpillar things that went up and down, and yeah.
And then there was one that like you were in a seat. Well, yeah. And it would like spin you around, like take you like forward, backwards, and you would spin like crazy. And it was scary, but it also made me very dizzy. I'm not good with stuff that like go in circles.
Yeah, and there were a couple rides there that there was no way I was going to ride. Even though I rode this ride, we're going to get there in a second.
There was one that it was called Superman, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, there was one.
It took you up like...
Yeah, do you guys know those swing things that take you like really high into the sky? And then it spins you on chains?
Yeah,
I couldn't do that. I would freak out.
But
like just the fact that you don't know if you're like supported, like if the chains are strong enough or anything. And
you could go like flying.
Yeah, you would be yeeted if the chain snapped. I ain't meaning to scare you guys.
And then there's like another one where it takes you up like very high in the sky, and then it just like drops you down halfway and takes you back up, drops you, and then like it goes forever, and it's scary.
Wait, what one's that?
I don't know what it's called, but it like goes. It's at the bottom. There's like so many seats, and then it takes you straight up to like the top. It will drop you halfway, take you back up, drop, up.
Oh yeah.
That one you and Dad wanted me to go on, but I didn't.
And then there was this ride called the Texas Giant. Yeah, that was the ride we're telling you guys about. This ride, I'm surprised I wasn't grounded for life. But, okay. So, you guys know those roller coasters that take you about 100 yards into the sky?
And do a 90-degree drop
And
down.
then they do a little jerk move. They sit you up top and you're like, oh, look at all the trees and the butterflies and look at all those kids who are screaming on their rides. And then they do that dumb little thing where they press the button and then the roller coaster starts. That was our, we went about 100 feet or 100 yards into the sky. That is far. It was scary.
I'm surprised they even went on it.
When it first started, I'm like, okay, this is fun. As soon as we started the slope going up, my heart was like, I'm pretty sure, like, where my heart is, like, it was twitching from my heart beating so fast. And I can hear it pounding. And I'm like, oh, no. How are you feeling when we were going up?
Literally, as soon as we got to the top, there was like this handle thing that you could hold on to. I was squeezing it so tight, and I closed my eyes. I could hear Cameron like praying back there. He's like,
yeah, I was. The worst part is I had to sit by myself.
and I got to sit with my
She
dad.
had to sit with her dad. I was sitting in the back, and I'm going up, and I'm like, okay, like, save me. And as soon as we went up, I'm like, oh my gosh,
And
oh my
it
gosh, oh my
did.
gosh. And then he pressed the button and we went.
90-degree drop.
Like, it was a 90-degree drop. And at the bottom, it
And
takes you into a little loop. It took us into that loop. I didn't even know we hit the loop. We were going that fast.
Yeah, I didn't know we were in a loop. And then it took you into like a tunnel.
Yeah, and then it also does a thing where it takes you in like spirals. You're going upside down, like right side up, upside down, right side up, upside down, right side up. And you don't know where you are. And that was like, 10 seconds? Eventually we like curve into, and then we start to slow down. And that's when we enter the,
Tunnel.
No, not the tunnel. The place where you get off. And I'm like, I don't even know if that was bad or good. And we got off, and,
I was shaking.
yeah, part that I forgot to mention, I was cussing like a sailor in the back. I can't say the words on here, but hell, I was saying some stuff that I probably shouldn't have been saying. And yeah, a lot of them would not be considered like appropriate. And half the words I was saying I don't even think were words. Like I was saying some stuff like it was just the first letter that came to mind, I'd make a word out of it. Like I'd be saying giraffe and all that stuff. But yeah,
Giraffe, alligator.
that was probably the scariest moment of my
Giraffe,
life.
alligator.
But yeah, that was definitely really scary. What other first times can you think of?
What is it? What is it?
Oh, no,
The
no.
first time we went like onto like a big resort.
No,
Was it
we've
my
only been to one resort, really.
Yeah, which is the first time.
No.
What is that?
Yeah, this is like, we don't have nothing wrote down. Usually we do have stuff wrote down, so it's easier for us to think and stuff. But this time we do have nothing, so...
We have to use our brain.
Yeah, we're just using our brains. So we have first time driving, first time paying, first time going on a big roller coaster. Yeah. So that's all I can think of anyway. So yeah. So I guess that's gonna be it for this video, ladies and gentlemen. And if you guys enjoyed, make sure to hit that subscribe button and that notification bell to where you don't miss one podcast. And also, so you guys don't miss the link to our app. And we'll be definitely hitting you guys up with that as soon as we do get the link. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching. And if you guys enjoyed, like I said, make sure to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. Hope to see you guys next time. Remember to join the journey and peace.